Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon.
Yeah.
There's look at that head, man. They just keep
They
pulling shit off my man. Stop fucking pulling shit off of him. They got this man down to nothing, man. They just keep everything just keep falling.
He's Tales from the Crypt right now. This nigga.
He done took the piece off. He's like, look, at the dinner, he was like, look, man, look.
And I'm sitting there watching. I'm running out of breath, too. I'm like,
oh, yeah. He can't move. If you touch him, he might fall apart. I don't know what's going on.
Bro, see, this is the problem with incest.
He's just so haunting now. Oh,
this
you think
is the
incest
process
guy?
with incest, dog.
You think that's what the
He looked around that table, and it was just everybody related.
Yeah.
And then you got your crazy ass, what is it? His son with the one eye.
Oh, yeah, his son, yeah. Now they matching. Oh, that guy.
Just crazy as dog. Your family's fucked, and you about to die. It's probably good. I would want it to go out that way because if I see my family like that, hey yo, dog.
Didn't you think I thought he was about to die at that scene when he was looking around the table? I thought he like, this is how.
See, that's why I hate
watching.
They
keep wanting this motherfucker. They keep making you think he gonna die.
That's why I hate going on social media whenever Game of Thrones shit airs because people make memes of it, and I kept seeing shit like Viserys fucking. You know, this is Viserys' next episode, or this is him, and I seen some shit, and I was like, and I'm like, oh, this motherfucker gonna die this episode. Oh, no, he's not gonna die. He's just gonna come back 10 times more decrepit the next episode. This motherfucker just showed you his whole cheek, the inside of his mouth through his cheek. And then they said that scene, when his crown fell off, it wasn't even supposed to fall off. It was like a mistake. But they just kept running with it.
That's dope, because... this thing got me moved. I was like, man, I'm about to go to tears when he. I like, you put that shit where it belongs. He knew. I was like,
but see,
right
I seen a meme dope, about the brother. What's this dude's name? See, I don't know. Is Damon?
Yeah.
Somebody was like, this is Damon's script, and it was just a blank piece of paper. And they were like, this motherfucker he don't have no lines. He just reads the room and shit.
Yeah, I mean,
say it again.
They kept cutting to him like. During this scene,
every time he's always
when they were talking, he's like
the fucking eyebrows, shit, the fucking horns.
You don't have to say much. You don't have to say much.
Banging his fucking niece.
Oh,
married her.
That's what he did. Everybody keeps saying. Not everybody. I said it when we were watching it, and other people was saying it like when he swiped that man's head and left the tongue.
Say it again.
It was like he did that old Will Smith to the 10th. It was like.
Keep my wife name. Oh shit!
And no, they bastards now.
That's the meme. I'm glad I watched it because if I didn't watch it, I wouldn't get it. But I keep seeing whatever the black bull. It's just no. It's just they be like this week's episode it'll be a meme and it shows half the dude head and shit. The picture, it just show half his head. And I'm like, because he fucking sliced the goddamn. I'm like, yo.
Yeah, Damon was like. No, I was like, I thought the guards were gonna group him up. I was like, man, he need to shut up right now, and he didn't shut up. And
your kids are bastards.
Oh.
And see, back then they really let you know you could be fucking your own goddamn parent, but if you had a damn bastard kid, that is off limits. And how
they don't? You can't fuck your kids though.
They can,
but they
fuck their kids.
Who's
I don't know, but I'm sure they did.
I'm saying they making the brother and the sister fucking stuff though.
Oh yeah. Well, that's
the son with the eye. Is that their daughter that he's married to?
Who?
The son, his son.
His son.
Yeah, they married to.
He's not married to nobody.
The one that's out there, the one that was like out there fucking and all that. The one that like he was raped. He had raped the one during in the beginning of the episode. And she had to come in there and give her that abortion juice.
That was the other one.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. They brother and sister, right? Like he's married to his sister, right?
No.
He not?
No.
Yeah, who this?
Her. That's
not her.
Yeah, her.
Not her. This girl. Isn't that the daughter?
That's the daughter of Viserys.
And he's married to Viserys' son, right?
Nobody's married to her right now.
What? They was at the dinner table.
That last episode,
the same girl, right? Aren't they married? That's his wife right there.
No, the last episode they just announced that they're going to marry off one of the boys to her. They're not married right now. No.
I thought one of the boys was gonna marry the black girl. I thought the mom was like, "Is you not showing respect to your wife?" And then they showed them two sitting at the table. And
Yeah, no, they
the two
announced that
married.
they're going to marry them in the last episode. Yeah, but
Well, anyway,
there is
so
all
the
about
brother
to
and
go
sister can
all hell.
get together, but yeah, I don't know. The young boy jumped up. The one-eyed dude. I don't know the son's name.
That dragon, bro. That shit. They were like that dragon is you know, that's why it's interesting because these dragons are myth, or not myth, but these are like old tales in the show Game of Thrones. But Game of Thrones don't have.
You'll keep bringing it back.
I am because I'm just saying the dragons, like the scale of the dragons, the dragons in Game of Thrones. You watch them grow from
we said
little things to what they became. This show, that dragon that he gained, you had to climb a ladder. That shit, and when they show is just so big, and it's just, you know, the vastness of that dragon, which is like complete dominance. That's why him with one fucking eye, he can talk shit to whoever he wants. Like, I don't give a shit. My dad, and then, you know, I've already like I've watched some animation of the book told, and is definitely about to be brutal as fuck. Cool. I try not to watch too much or listen to too much, but I just know that
I go in fresh every time.
That dragon is like that's like the best dragon in the whole existence of existence. Like it's 100 battles, blah blah blah. Fucking never lost a battle.
Yeah, we covered all that last time.
But I, you know, I'm just saying, just off of enjoyment of the show, because.
So you liking the politics of it and everything now?
I mean, is cool for, and this is pretty much probably how I would explain the other show. It would be like, you know, this show is cool. I can get where they're going, and then bam, it takes off, or bam, something. But these people are the great grandparents of the people of Game of Thrones. So if that shows you any type of time frame,
I don't care.
You don't, but I do, because I'm like, but they just somebody spoke of. They were like, this show, they're going to have to do 4 seasons. You know, they do 4 seasons.
The writer of the book.
Yeah.
Like,
so if you got to do that, dog, you're going to catch up.
Hopefully. Well, what did he say? I think he said he's happy that it at least got a second season or something like that, because
then that just
you're going to have to do 4 seasons in order
people
to do.
People are going to, they're going to. But I'm just like.
People showed up. If it sucked, it wouldn't be doing good.
This show could suck if it wanted to, but
you think people still show up?
Fuck yeah,
and keep showing up even if it sucks.
Original show want to give you that.
Well, I wouldn't, but you know,
other people would. But I'm just saying, like, if you know, whatever show, and you have another show that's off of that show, people are going to give it its due diligence just because that show did great.
If it sucked, people ain't gonna show up.
If that first show sucked, this wouldn't be a show, and it would be 1 season.
If this show sucked, it wouldn't have a second season.
I think people will still be interested, because I think at the end of all of it, if you can go and watch this show and it be like the last episode of this goes into the first episode of the next, that would be dope as fuck. That's what I'm hoping right now.
Only people who watch Game of Thrones, which is a lot of people, would be watching it if it sucked. That's what you say?
No, yeah, that. But I'm just saying, outside of that, I'm just saying, like, now that, all right, blah, blah, blah. Everybody already watched, a lot of people already watched Game of Thrones. Now we're watching this. But if they can do something that really ties it together to make you be like, oh, House of Dragon last episode ended, and then it, like, literally, if you watch the first episode and it goes boom, and you can watch them through, I would think that would be, they already won, but I'm just saying that would just make it great as fuck for people that already watched the first.
Yeah, you're talking about good stuff. Yeah, I'm saying if this show sucked, no one wants 4 seasons of a sucky show. No one's going to sit through 4 seasons of a sucky show.
A lot of,
I'm just saying if it sucks.
No, yeah. No, I know what you're saying, but
I know you're saying the positive side. Of course, if it's good, people
I'm going off of anytime you say anything, it could be bad or whatever about this genre of show, this whatever of show, House of Dragon, Game of Thrones. It was people that were so, like, which is weird. People were so upset about how the previous show ended that all of the when everybody heard that a new one was coming out, you were instantly going. It was so many people that were so pissed off they were like they're never gonna watch Game of Thrones again. But when this came out, they were like, I can't wait to see this. So it rejuvenates that whole thing. So if you can redo that for people and make them go from this to back to that, dog. I'm just like thinking about the author guy. He just sitting on a freaking money den right now. It's like, you know, the stories. And he about to come out with a freaking, like, the characters from the old joint, they about to have their own spin-off show.
Oh, yeah. As far as the show goes.
So,
writing books for them, too? Or not?
But I like how it is because of, like, you know, just in life, period, you know, things are what they are now. But, you know, 60 years ago, Martin Luther King was getting fucking hosed down on that fucking bridge with his damn church shoes. Like, you know, that's time away, but it wasn't that far away. But we still know about it. And some people never read about it or whatever. And then you see it and you're like, oh, shit, this was fucked up. But this show is like how they were in these times. Come on, dog. Death by Dragon?
What the hell?
It just makes it all interesting. Yeah.
Suicide by Dragon. Shit.
Ugh.
Yeah. So, I mean, the young son stirring shit up, so...
Bro, they definitely...
It's about to be hot. He got out of there just in time. He got out of that dinner just in time. Because, like, everybody was happy and shit. And then, yeah. Say it again.
He sliced his eye. I may have lost an eye, but I've gained a dragon. It's pretty much going to go down in history as one of the best lines ever.
Yeah.
But that just goes into play. Where is this coming from? This era, this time frame, these people.
Are you still waiting for it to tie in to?
I already gave away how the time difference is. I'm not really trying to wait for it to tie in because it's still it's nothing.
It was like you was waiting for it to happen, and I was like, what?
If it do, is really going. That's what I'm saying. Like if it do, is really going to make the viewer who hasn't watched the other go and watch it because you're like, you know, it's a bunch of shit. It's almost like the movie Prey. Prey, you know, the girl, has never been a female fighter. You know, you're a damn gatherer. You know, you gather fruits and berries and shit. No, she was trying to fight. Let this chick fight, and she was nice as fuck at it. That's what that show is about. And they, you know, what I know of this show, that's just how it is. Hillary Clinton never will be a fucking female president. There will never be a female president. And then here you go. You have some chick that come up in there and boom, here she is. What does she do? Tear shit up or burn it all down?
Have you read any of these books?
No, but I like I said, I watched.
So you don't know if there's gonna be a female queen or not?
Oh, I know. But I just, you know, like I said, well, if you watch Game of Thrones, you know.
Well, Game of Thrones and history itself doesn't always tell the truth. Because you know about Christopher Columbus when you were little, but now as you're older, you know about Christopher Columbus a different way, right? So the history doesn't always tell the truth. So there could be a queen.
You see what the end result is.
But I'm saying in this series there could be a queen,
but
a female queen.
So this series, this is just before. Like, just say there's never been a black president.
Is there a chance that there can be a female queen?
Yeah. What's her name? Rhaenyra? Whatever. Yeah. But she, you know, she got sons. She got like 3 of them motherfuckers. So she gets by-guarded. Words of Othello. By-guarded and, you know, overthrown. And then, you know, one of her kids becomes king. But just, you know, like
oh, that's the story. You already read it? That's what the story or whatever? Okay. Is that the story from the books or is it a story told in Game of Thrones or something like that?
No, it's both. Game of Thrones is just 200 years that way.
I know what I'm saying.
We're this way, but yeah, you know.
Okay.
Well, that's what makes it all dope as fuck. Because it's you know.
I mean, history hasn't been written from Game of Thrones, and we're seeing history, and history can be different from.
Well, in Game of Thrones, history.
They speak about something in Game of Thrones, but the history could be different. Just like I was saying, my example was Christopher Columbus.
And, you know,
what really happened, we don't know what really happened. Game of Thrones people don't know what really happened in this era.
They do.
I mean, they can change history is what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. Like,
but you can't change. The past is the past. The present you can change.
You can change the past.
So
by talking about the past different.
From the
if
present,
I meet somebody tomorrow, I can tell them I was, I can tell them I was did a bunch of different. I was in the Senate. I was a senator at one point in my life.
So I'm just saying.
I was a lawyer. I mean, you can make up shit about your past.
No, I know. But so okay. So when Barack Obama became the first black president, whatever the fuck, you knew prior to that there's never been a black president until his ass.
Well, let's go 2,000 years into the future, and someone tells you, there was never a black president, and we don't have any record of it. There's no definitive record that there was a black president.
Bro, me being a military dog, I'm telling you, when I walk through some of these halls that I walk through, and they have all of the figures that's always been the leaders of such and such. Yeah, I walk down walls of white folk, and that's them. They definitely ain't letting no nigga up in no goddamn place. I'm just saying. But it's documented. They ain't never let no nigga be up in those places. The only document
that could say, let's say, Game of Thrones people said there's never been a female queen. Let's say that was it. I don't know if is that what they say on that show?
Yeah.
That there's never been a female queen for on the throne. Let's say they say that. Mm-hmm. They don't have the technology we have to keep records and all that. People throughout history are doing stuff. People throughout history could be dying and getting killed because they know the truth. Things can be made up.
Yeah, no. I know where you're going.
The history. That's what I'm saying.
So I know exactly where you're going. But they do. But the way of life is.
Do they have a flashback all the way back to this era to show you that there has never been? You know what I mean?
It's just that's what I'm saying. Like when I walk through those halls and they say whatever Trump was the 45th president. They have the pictures of the 44th through the 1st. Is there. And we know it. There's no changing them niggas or whatever. There's even been people saying that fucking Lincoln is damn half black or whatever. That's one of them things. But there's never been no African American person in that seat prior to him. It's documented on the documents that we know of.
So what are you trying to say? That there could have been?
No, I would never say it could have been. It was slaves before that. It was never gonna make no niggas no goddamn president.
This is a whole different show. Does not have the modern technology we have or the type of research that we have.
It's all been great. It's all okay. So it's all house based. This whole show is all about it's houses. So just say your last name is your last name. My last name is my last name. I'm of a house. If it's of importance, right. I'm up there in the talkings of if I'm the king or I'm the warden of whatever area.
Right now, but
no, I know. But I'm just saying, if you're of importance, you're put up there. So your family is there. These families been there for thousands of years in this show. So it's already there. Is no niggas in that show.
You haven't seen thousands of years though.
They tell you the timeline of who's there.
Game of Thrones.
Yes, Game of Thrones and the show. These people are only there because of who took over what, and so it's always Game passed of Thrones down.
Time span is thousands of years. I thought it was only like 10 years time span of Game of Thrones. From the time Game of Thrones starts to it ends is thousands of years pass by.
No,
how many years pass by?
Probably 10 or 15.
Okay.
But you have your timeline of who because they always, the kids are supposed to know what house, who sits on what house, and
so it's passed down by just talking.
It's passed down from
talking.
Your family, your family, their families have been in their positions for hundreds of years,
and nobody's lied throughout the years.
And nobody has changed positions.
Nobody lied or anything.
It's no different family. It's no different family.
You're saying there's no chance in House of Dragon that there's going to be
the peacocks.
That there's going to be a queen.
The peacocks have been the peacocks for 500 years.
You're saying there's no chance that there's going to be a female on the throne in this show?
It's never been. Just like how it's never been a female president in America's history. That's how it is.
I mean, you're saying that, but we have different types of ways of keeping track of things.
No, yeah, but their way of keeping track is their family. The family don't change. The family is the family.
The family doesn't lie.
The family does not. Now you can bang your daughter, and now you keep it in. That's the whole thing about this show.
Genocide,
this show
there's
no genocides. There's no the only genocide. We do know. We know. I know.
We didn't see this show yet. Hey, that's why I like this show.
You gotta. But see, I've seen ahead. What you know right now is what you know. In the show, they talk about
everybody.
The Targaryens are the Targaryens.
200 years is a long time.
The Targaryens are the Targaryens. The Targaryen name never changed.
Okay.
So it's always a Targaryen wherever a Targaryen is.
There could be a year where there was a female on the thing. She could have got killed.
They don't.
Then they
it doesn't.
cover it
They
up.
don't
There's
go into that.
no
They don't.
way to be covered up.
Now you're adding to something that's not.
I'm saying
that's what it
that's
is.
what I would like to see on here. Maybe
They don't. They're not going to do that.
I know the only way that you're telling me is not going to do it because you read the books and the book said that they wasn't going to do it. But I'm just saying.
But it's the story though. If the story is already what it is,
Game of Thrones.
It's already what it is. So it's never been.
Because then they retcon that and then people gonna get upset.
You're trying to add. You're adding to what is not.
Hypothetical. I'm just saying, like, is there a chance that there could be a queen?
It's always gonna be a chance, but it is not. Because everything that is out is already out. They're now just showing you.
Nobody ever retcon anything. I guess nobody.
You talking about words that these people don't even know. They banging their damn brothers and daughters, and the damn king, the damn kid is jerking off outside to the joint. I understand what you're saying, but I'm just saying the story is
1 year. There's a queen on the throne. She gets killed because they don't want you on the throne, and people cover it up. And the family agrees. That's not even.
But that's not in the storyline.
In order to keep it,
the books are already the books. The books are already set.
You've read all the books.
I have not read, but I know that's within the show. It's never been a female. That's what the whole.
And what? And this
is okay. So listen, really, just to try to very simply end it, just to end it.
Right. Only if you read the books.
The Game of Thrones is about.
That's why I think people would be upset if that happened.
I don't know.
If they show that.
But see, there's always going to be two types of people if the show is based off of a book. It's going to be people that read the book and people that read the show. The way that they show the characters, like not this show, I haven't seen it yet. They kind of people throw it out there, but when people like dig into like how the Game of Thrones characters should look versus what their characters were, it was super fucking the midget imp. Little person was supposed to look all gruesome because he's a little person. He's deformed.
I remember looking at
but those. Peter Dinklage is not deformed, the character that plays the imp. Right. And that's to that extent. You can only go off of what they already have out. The show is based off the book. The book just shows you that this is the way the world is. Game of Thrones came to be on the journey of the first female to take helm of a kingdom. It's never been that. Right. Never in the history of that. That's the whole purpose of Game of Thrones. Right. The show that we're watching now is how do we get to this part? Because this girl who becomes the queen or the person on the realm is her family has been run amok. They've been, cast-offs. Because of all of which we are watching now. Right. So up until that point, you have that. And on the other side of that, you got these freaking mythical White Walkers who nobody's seen these people in 2,000 years. Yeah. That's the first kind of big number you hear of the show. And obviously, we're only going back 200 years. Yeah. So that's in the whole realm of things. We've only know there's never been a female queen or a female running the show. And there's never been White Walkers. It's all myths. Everything's a myth. There hasn't been a dragon. There hasn't been a dragon in hundreds of years. It's all a show. So that show take off with there never has been. And then now that show is over, we're like, how did it get to that point? Because there were dragons before that, and there were women that were in position. Yeah. Game of Thrones, there's never been a woman. There's not one woman in that show who's in position to take the throne, right? So I'm just trying to put it in that. So you're now watching how did it get to that point? Because something fucked up, and and all of these fuckers fucking their brothers and sisters that you didn't
close this, you didn't like shut it down. But I mean, I see your strong argument. I understand.
I'm just stating the facts of the show. I'm still thinking about
my theory and like what they could do.
I know,
but it might piss people off if they did do that. If they were like, all right, so and so is the queen now, because they keep doing like time jumps and you got like, you got what he said was like 4 more seasons. But like if they wrote, the books. I don't know if you know. Did these books come out first? Did the House of Dragon books come out first?
Yeah.
And then
years old. Then the show came out way after.
No, not the show. I'm saying that House of Dragon written
Already
before Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
was written.
It's already the House of Dragons, the Dance of Dragons, and then Game of Thrones.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Right.
So in those books,
and
is how we just watching it portray itself.
Okay. And
so they don't.
You know that in the books.
Up.
You know that in the books there was not a queen before.
Yeah, that's the show we watching.
Daenerys, what's her name?
Rhaenyra?
No, the one that got the thing at the end of the Game of Thrones. The white haired girl on Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Old Khaleesi.
Yeah. What's her first? Her name ain't Daenerys?
Well, anyway, Daenerys. Whatever.
Khaleesi. But yeah, so in the books it said that there was no queen before her.
Yeah.
Or no one that sat on the throne before her.
Her father was the previous ruler who got killed by Jaime Lannister, who blah, blah, blah.
I don't know how much I believe about the books because you said you didn't read them.
I mean, but
I'll take your word for it.
In this I can't alter what is already known to the public as far as what Game of Thrones
known to the public
go.
From just watching Game of Thrones is not known to the public from who read all these books.
But what does that have to do with the story?
I'm gonna dig into that on my own.
I know, but I'm just saying that has nothing to do.
The stories pulled from those books. If in the book it said if they were written like House of Dragons was written first, and there was a queen and she got killed, and like they covered it up. The next book doesn't talk about it. Then Game of Thrones come out, and they don't talk about that what happened in that first book.
Mm-hmm.
And then she thinks she's the first one, which she could be, because you're saying that's what that was like based on and everything. Like people who read that first book, if they saw that there was a queen.
Well, now if you're trying to go book versus show, I'm like, that's different. I watched the entire show. The show is the show. That's all I can really.
If it's just the show and they not even worried about the books, and they're not fully and even more think that there could be a queen in this. A female that takes.
Why would you think that?
Because it could be covered up later.
Why would it be covered up?
But I don't think they would do it on maybe a business standpoint because people would get upset.
Mm-hmm.
Like people always get upset.
Fuck
about
people.
Shit,
just you telling the show. Why would you think?
Because it would be it'd be good writing. I think it'd be a pop that for someone who hasn't seen Game of Thrones, it'd be good writing. Yeah. But if I saw not saw Game of Thrones, if I was a fan, like how certain fans are, and the name was like, Khaleesi was the first, but then you watch the show and you find out someone else in her past or in her whatever timeline was the first female on, then that would be big for the show. Like, oh shit, damn. So that knocks Khaleesi out of and that's when people I think would get upset. But for me, who haven't seen Game of Thrones, I'm like, oh, that's dope.
Well,
because it got covered up, and then like they didn't talk about it, and then they go into like season 2, 3, 4, and then like that whole. That's why I said if it was a female that was. Maybe she maybe she
you looking for something that ain't there. I know that's for sure.
Because we weren't even supposed to get this deep into it.
I know.
But I was talking on a hypothetical.
We're going to get into the shit until you watch that first episode.
I was talking on a hypothetical.
Put the first episode on.
I was talking on a hypothetical and just asking what would you think of it. But I clearly
I can see where you
are fans of Game of Thrones would not want that to happen. Just judging off of your response.
I can't say, bro, literally with this show.
Or you said, no, you said
you
said it's not going to happen because you know definitively. But then you told me you didn't read the books, and you said what the books got to do with the show. Now that's making me think, well, shit, if the books ain't got nothing to do with the show, anything can happen in this motherfucker.
But I'm just saying, off of the show, what is portrayed is such.
Yeah,
is that. That's that.
But
so I'm just saying, okay, so wait. So on that note.
People so, all right. So, history,
man. Okay, they could. So who was could there be a chance that Barack Obama is the second black president of the United States?
When you say that, we don't have the same type of record keeping that they have. We have different
record keeping crap.
Yeah, hold on. What's the question?
Do you believe that Barack Obama is the second black president of the United States of America?
I don't know. I don't care, to be honest, but I don't know.
But I'm going off of the logic that you're saying. We already the
facts are out there. You're making my point, though.
The facts are out there. Yeah. So it's just that you're saying like. What if it could have been, somebody prior?
From what I know, he was the first black. Considered the first black.
From what do you?
President. From what I know.
From what do you know? Why do you know that he is the? Whatever?
I don't know for definitive. Like, no one knows 100. See, we get into other shit. No one knows nothing.
We're trying to use something that's actual. Just for.
It's only proving my point though, because no one knows 100% anything, right? Like that's what we're going to get into that.
There's been 45 presidents. And Barack was 44.
Yeah, because of the documents.
because of the documents and those white people pictures and where we are in this world.
Right, and we must believe everything we read and see in documents.
Okay, so in this world that you know of, do you think that there was a black president prior to him?
Let me ask you: do you think there could have been?
I mean, I'm okay. So in my lifetime, what I know, I've seen. Okay, wait.
We talking about presidents and elected people versus
I'm just
families
saying,
and
somebody that is
like
in the lineage, somebody that was in position of a place, and we just know they were in that particular place. So in my life, I've seen Bill Clinton as a president. I've seen
president
George
and king and queen is two different things.
Talk president. Just these people are in a position. This person was in a position. There's never been Hillary Clinton was going to be the first female. It was never
not queen from a family and stuff like that. Though.
But these are people that are elected into this position.
I'm just
kings
saying,
and queens are people that are born into that position. You're born into it. You have to as far as a king is, you have to be. That's why it's always about the king has to have a son, right? So the king has to have a son.
Can I ask you one question?
Yeah.
Is it easier to cover up there being a black president than there is for this time period? Do you think it's hard for them to cover up something in this time period?
Okay, so I'm gonna go as far as this. I'm gonna go as far as this.
Do you think they can't cover up shit in this time period? There's no forensic information going on.
In Game of Thrones, the Lannisters have a son who's a little person.
Long ass conversation we had.
No. Game of Thrones, he has a son as a little person.
Yeah.
He can't be a heir to the throne because he's disabled. He's not seen as a regular person. So they sweep him to the side. He's just a person.
Yeah.
If they had a black or a girl as the heir, they could off her. They do that all the time in these eras. They will poison you. They will fucking do all of that until the king shows that he is a suitable heir. A suitable heir is always a son. That is how that king shit works. So they could have been somebody that was in line, but they were not going to be. Come on, we talking about that time frame. Nowadays, they brought up Herschel Walker bullshit. Like, anytime you do something wrong while you running for politics, they will bring up your easiest dirt. Back then, they just off you. Right. Quick poison, out of there. Right. Next in line.
Okay.
So I'm just saying. Like, as far as the show goes, the show as it is that there has never been a female heir. There's never been a female.
I know you keep saying
running the show. That's all. That is all. I mean, I know we went deep, but I'm just saying that in the show as it is, that is the story. So
this is House of the Dragon, where there possibly can be. Is all I'm
Rhaenyra is she is the heir, but she has sons now. You are not the heir no more when you have sons. So the sons become the niggas that's on top.
I know. Look, I ain't saying it's gonna happen. I just was throwing a hypothetical. And if it did happen,
bro, trust me, look, this show, you learn. See, it's kind of crazy, right? Because the main thing about this whole thing is how deeply I am about this show is because of what Game of Thrones showed me how this show is, how this time frame. Because again, when I first watched that shit, I was like, I'm not nobody from no damn. I don't like no shows about no damn medieval bullshit. Like, it ain't no black people in this show at all. They have they probably had like 3 black people in Game of Thrones, dog. Yeah, and then this show come out, it's a whole goddamn family of all black people with goddamn. And I'm like, it's cool. I'm gonna rock with it.
They talk about them on Game of Thrones?
Fuck no. They just like they
don't talk about the queen that got.
I mean, they don't like in this show. They don't say that there's people black. They're just the whatever the family they are.
Yeah.
They don't say, oh, these are black part people of that family.
Black people. No.
And in Game of Thrones, they don't say people with colors or whatever. So I'm just saying, like, as a fan of the show, I'm like, damn. It's kind of fucked up that it ain't no, like, like they just make niggas non-existent. We only existed. We were born and imagined to pick cotton and shit. But,
Born and imagined.
But in the show Game of Thrones, they did have one of these, the black boy. He's real famous. He does a lot of movies. Black boy, African. He was like a pirate of the show. It's like it's 2 black people. They pirates. It's fucked up.
All right.
But I'm just saying that to say, whatever the fuck I'm trying to say.
Yeah, anybody can be queen. and on the throne.
Anybody can, right? Anybody can be, but in that show they just let you know that you have to be a son, and the show shows you how they deal with people who, like a bastard child, they will call you bastard. Hell, I heard that name fucking probably a million times in Game of Thrones, and that is a way that they describe people.
I'd be interested to see what would happen if they made somebody, a female sit on the throne. I'd be interested to see how the audience would respond.
But you see how they tripped off of what's her name, Rhaenyra?
Yeah, that's why I think if there was a queen, then they would cover it up. Her. They probably like, well, how I would see it is maybe she get into power. Her husband probably kills anybody that ever know about it, but it'd have to be like some type of genocide thing.
Oh yeah,
they would years to cover it up or whatever.
Yeah,
but still, and like change history. Like history's been changed from Columbus
always,
times to now.
but this isn't the show. The history hasn't been shown.
And as technology goes forward, and video cameras, even sometimes video cameras, like people adjusting shit and that. But like keeping records and stuff is kind of tough. Over the years and stuff like that.
They do keep records.
When you grew up in school, Christopher Columbus discovered America.
See, you'll understand that.
Versus Pilgrims, but
you'll understand how they keep records in Game of Thrones. I'll just leave it at that.
Dear God.
Come on, you gotta just accept it. It's Game of Thrones is the mecca of it. We're just watching a fucking dream of what the world was prior to Game of Thrones. This is all it is. It's probably because I never watched any medieval movie, no bullshit like that before this show. And then that was a movie. One time, you're done with it. This was like you talking about 8 seasons.
Dope too.
Well, it was definitely one of my favorite movies. But I'm just saying, like, the way it moved me is the way that I know. Even if it moved me so much, I know that somebody that I know, it will move them minimally, like, a fucking good 30% out of 100. Like, I know it will move you. I know you will get the jokes. I know you will get the humor. I know you will get the stories. And I just know it's gonna you're gonna take something from it. And it's just sad that we're talking about this now versus like, obviously I was in the military when I fucking watched that first 2 seasons. That was years ago. Now House of Dragon is out. I'm like, okay, I can rock with it because I'm waiting for, this is basically Game of Thrones season 9 for me. This is pretty much what I see it as.
We wasn't talking about Game of Thrones when it came out.
Either. We didn't have this.
How many seasons was out when you first started watching it?
It was already 2, and when I got back from deployment, the 3rd season came out, so I went straight into boom. So I watched.
Never said a word about it to me.
This was 2012, man.
I'm just saying, if you was that passionate about it, I swear you could talk to everybody.
I wasn't. No. 2012, I watched 2 seasons. That was on. I was on deployment. I watched them like every night when I went to my rack. That was that. Then I came home. 2013. Season 3 was airing, I believe, and then I went through that. But that was like, it was you watching HBO 2013?
I don't think so.
Either if you were, you were. If you weren't, you weren't. But I was in the midst of like,
I doubt it.
I was going through like a divorce. I was going through all this bullshit that I was dealing with. You know what I mean? My life was completely different. So and then of course I was living in Virginia. You was in freaking California. Like, we wasn't. We were doing so much. So either way, I'm just saying, like,
pour it all out right now.
Up to date.
Yeah, Game of Thrones is the best show that ever been.
That show is the greatest show that moved me that I didn't realize it would move me. Because again, I watched the first 15 minutes of that first episode and I was like, this fucking dumbass show. Who the fuck would like tell me to watch this? Like I'm the guy. Like, I turned that shit off with the quickness, dog.
Went back and watched it. You told us 3 times. We're not gonna go to the story again.
I'm gonna tell that 4 times.
Oh, we're done. House of Dragon. We out.
House of Dragon is a great show. I mean, the main thing about this show though is it's kind of not weird to me, but the time jump, man. And I heard.
I heard people couldn't get used to that.
I'm like, no, we gonna be a Game of Thrones. Like,
I wonder if they'll slow it down in the next 2 seasons.
Somebody said that was the last jump we'll see.
Oh shit!
That's gonna
be months. No, we'll see.
But then again, they got renewed, and this is when did this air? August. September. September. So September through probably like Christmas time. So then we're looking at next September for season 2. So I just the time jump is weird because I'm like
people going to start watching Game of Thrones who haven't seen it going to start watching Game of Thrones during that.
You got to. You're going to be like, what is? I got to fill in this gap. You got the whole show.
I ain't watching it.
I'm gonna pay Nate 2 Twinkies and a fucking couple of grape sodas to watch the first season. We gonna watch the first season. I'm gonna make me watch the first season. You gonna get and it's gonna be. It's not even okay. You already know how I feel about the show, but I just feel like
I'll give you the first.
Just season. Just to tackle that.
After this, I'll give you the first season.
Just to tackle that.
I don't know what that's gonna do. But,
and again, you could be like, man, this dumbass show. Just like I would agree with him. I would be like, I can fuck. But if you give it time,
I never spoke ill of Game.
No,
of
I know.
Thrones
I'm just saying.
I never seen it. Well, I've seen it because y'all. But only ill thing I got to say is I wish y'all didn't spoil all this shit for me. But
it's just a great of a fucking show. That's like you spoiling anything about Batman. You know.
Nah.
How much you like Batman?
I don't want nobody spoil another guy. Don't look around my room. God, shut it off.
How much do I get talked about Batman?
We ain't talking about Batman. We will next time. But all right, so we're gonna get out of here. We done did like 5 hours of fucking Game of Thrones.
Chop all this up.
House of the Dragon talking shit. Yeah.
That you gotta put that in its own thing just to make it that.
What?
Oh man, the whole Game of Thrones joint.
We always do because it's always like 45 minutes. Ain't nobody trying to watch 45 minutes about argue about this shit. It's a mixed argument. I hope it's people like, yeah. What if they do make it a queen in there? They gonna be pissed off. I know people gonna be pissed off if they have a queen in the House of Dragon. But
would they be pissed?
I don't know. You one of the fans. You seem to be arguing against it very strongly. So I would assume fans.
What if they put a black queen in there?
And they be even angry. America gonna be angry, but that's a whole nother story. Hey, y'all, check it out. Till next time. All right, y'all. Till next time.
What if it's an Asian?
Yeah, that too. We gonna go watch Game of Thrones.
I'm gonna watch Little Mermaid
season 1 and with a couple of sodas. We go Little Mermaid.
Just throwing that in there.
Throwing everything.
Black Adam.
Dude, Black Adam. That's coming next.
Axel Foley.
Black Adam next week. Damn, should be checking that out. Next week, I'm watching it. I got my tickets already on the 20th.
When we going to this funeral though?
The Black Panther.
No, Black Panther. That's a funeral. I hope y'all all coming to show your respects. Show your respects.
Damn, that's what they call it.
That's a funeral, dog. We going to a funeral.
Shit.
Gotta wear all what they wearing, all white.
All right. Till next time, y'all. Stay royal. Stay loyal. Peace out.